I will always work with brands that I like really believe in and a product that I like. And people are always like, do you say no ever? I'm like, I do say no. Like, I've gotten offered so much money through like vaping companies. At the beginning, my content was like a lot about like partying and drinking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get so much money offered from vaping, and I don't vape, and I don't have a problem with people who vape, but it's just not me personally. I'm like, I'm not gonna make an ad about your puff stick. Like, it's just not. It's not my brand.
It makes sense.
Welcome to the In Your Home podcast. I'm your host, Brett Rosenthal. This podcast is about real people and real homes in Philadelphia and other cities near you. As a realtor in Philadelphia, I get to see all types of homes and meet all kinds of people, and I want to share these experiences with everybody. Tons of unique homes and some amazing people is what you will hear and see. If you like what you hear, follow us on your favorite streaming platform.
Hey everyone, how are you? My name is Brett Rosenthal. It's here for another episode of the In Your Home podcast. Today we are at the Carson in Northern Liberties in the amenity space. It's a great building, and we're lucky enough to have a special guest today. This is Bran Flakezz.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me. This is such a cozy space.
Oh, yeah.
I love this couch. Want to bring it home with me.
Same.
Tell everyone about yourself.
All right. Well, my name is Bran Flakezz, short for Brandon. I am 27 years old. I live here in Philadelphia. I do content creation full time. So started with TikTok. Now I do TikTok and Instagram. And within the past month, I also started my own podcast. So yeah, that's like my full-time gig. The kind of content I post is like relatable, authentic content. I guess like lifestyle, like I post a little bit about everything. Yeah.
Nice. We have to ask, how did you come up with Bran Flakezz?
It was my Twitter username in high school.
Oh my
In
gosh.
high school, like we made usernames that were like a play on words of my name. And it was originally, it's Brandick. And then I was like, for college applications, I should probably change.
Not the best. Yeah.
So I switched to Bran Flakezz because that felt more wholesome. But then when I got to college, everyone like actually like called me that. They're like, oh, you're Bran Flakezz. So I was like, that's my Twitter name and my Instagram name. But I was like, sure, you can call me that. And then it just like kind of blossomed, I guess, from there.
So that's like your just go-to name now. Like, do people like know you by that?
In my friend group or you're in my family, like they will like kind of make fun of people for calling me that. They're like, there'll be like a tell-all sign that someone doesn't actually like know you as if they call you like Bran Flakezz.
Oh.
But like my friends will call me Flakes. Like they'll be like, what's up, Flakes? Or like Beef Flakes. I get a lot of Beef Flakes.
Beef Flakes.
The macho man. But my girls always just call me Bran. Or like sometimes my like close friends will call me Brandon. That's
like jumps in like VIPs only. Yeah. Full cup.
Where did you go to college?
So I went to, at the time it was called Philadelphia University. It's been since acquired by Thomas Jefferson. So it's now Thomas Jefferson East Falls. It used to be before that, before Philadelphia University, it was called the School of Textile, the Textile School. But I went for fashion, merchandising, and management, which was basically like a business degree, but with like a concentration on like doing business in the fashion space. So like retail development, like retail strategy. Like after school, I worked at the Navy Yard and worked for Urban Outfitters.
Okay.
I was doing buying and merchandising for Anthropologie for I did like 3 or 4 internships because I did a master's degree. So I was in and out of interning throughout college, grad school, then worked there full time for like a year. But in total, I was there for like almost 3 or 4 years, I think.
Did you like it?
I loved it. It just like, I was in that stage in my life where I was like, oh my gosh, 24. I just turned 25 when I like left because I wanted to switch and like get a new experience somewhere else. So I went to GoPuff for only 8 months because my TikTok career was like popping off. And halfway through, like I started in a merchandising role at GoPuff, but then they found me on TikTok and they were like, could you actually join our social team? Which I thought was going to be like a really good fit, but I realized really quickly I hated doing social media for somebody else. And it was like taking away my passion and like burning me out really quickly because I didn't want to like spend all day doing TikToks for a company and then after that, then do TikToks for my own page.
Yeah.
It just got really messy really quickly. And I was at the point where I was just like, I want to like gamble on myself and I quit in like April of 2022. I was like, I'm going to take the summer and see how I can develop on my own. And if it's not like going that great, I would probably have obviously gone back to Urban Outfitters. But that wasn't the case. I was doing great on my own. So I was like, I'm keeping with this. Yeah.
I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like especially if you realize like, wow, I can actually do this like on my own, then go for it.
It's funny. I actually like frequently compare this job to like real estate because I feel like it's nice in a sense because you can get up and sort of make your own schedule, but like the harder you work, the more money you're going to make. Like if you go out and show 20 houses in 1 week, there's a higher chance of you actually making a commission. Me, if I go and I make 40 videos a week, there's a higher chance of one of them going viral and a brand reaching out to me and be like, hey, we want to sponsor you. So there's definitely some similarity.
Yeah.
Like it's also a job where you like kind of always have to be on. Like you never fully stop working. Like like, oh, I have some free time. I can post this right now, or I can do this right now. And you just have to be very personable. Like I think, but your social battery, I don't know about you guys. Like there's some times where it's really garbage. It's like you spend the whole day talking. It's talking to the camera. And then I get done, I'm like, I don't even want to talk to a human.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like if all day we're talking to like clients or like out and about, like texts, calls, emails, in person, and at the end of the day, and your friends just want to like hang out, it's like the last thing you want to do sometimes. But I mean, that's just the way it goes. But it's good to have a balance though. Like you can definitely balance it out, I think.
Yeah. So when you're out like all these videos we see, is it just you recording yourself usually?
Yeah, like my content is like super like low lifts. Like I literally film for the most part in the TikTok app, which most other people don't. I film like just selfie mode. I do green screen a lot I do like a lot of visual TikToks. And that's like it's pretty nice because I'm like, if I need to film a video today, like I can get it done sometimes in as short as 10 minutes. Like, and then boom, it's done, and that's my work for the day in that department in terms of posting. But you also have to keep up with community engagement, so like replying to comments, watching other people's videos too, and like getting inspiration, and then obviously working on like brand partnerships that you might film one day but might not be posted for like another week or two.
Okay.
So how does like a brand partnership work?
So typically like a brand will reach out to you, and then there's a few different kinds. Like you can get a paid partnership, or in the beginning when you're starting out, a lot of it's gifted. So like they'll be like, hey, if we send you, pick out anything you want from our website and we'll send it to you, can you just do a video about it? And that's kind of a lot of in the beginning when you don't have a huge following. Like that's getting your foot in the door, and like then the brand can see, oh wow, this video did really well, maybe we'd actually want to work with them on like a paid campaign.
Okay.
But typically a brand reaches out to you. You can reach out to brands too, it's just a different process. But if a brand reaches out to you, they kind of will be like, hey, we're working on a holiday campaign for Wawa this month for their new peppermint mocha flavor coffee. We think you'd be a great creator. Would you be interested in making a 30-second reel? If so, like what's your rate for that? Also, we would want to know your rate for potentially usage rights if we could use it on our website, in our email blast, on our...
Oh, wow. They really go in.
Like have to kind of have a separate rate for everything. It's like you charge like one thing for actually making and posting a video to your account, but then they also might say, we want usage. And then they also might say, by the way, we asked for 15 days exclusivity, which means in that time before and after you post, 15 days before and after, you can't work with Starbucks, you can't work with Dunkin'.
Okay.
And you have to factor that in too, because it's like the opportunity cost. It's like, well, I potentially will have to say no to another brand if given the chance that they reach out to me too and ask for the same thing. So it gets messy really quick.
Yeah.
Why you hear of so many influencers, including myself, eventually signing on to a talent agency, because this is a newer career. Like no one teaches you how to do that.
Especially in school, this isn't a thing.
Yeah, like I didn't go to school to become an influencer.
Yeah.
Like everybody else, I went to school, I had a degree in fashion, I had a master's in fashion. I learned a lot about how to make a business and like how to connect with customers, but I never learned like what you need to charge. I never thought of being an entrepreneur, which essentially I am. So that was a weird like thing. So I did that for a few months on my own, but it was starting to become like another 9-to-5 job, because you have to read through contracts and see like what your rights are and how quickly you have to approach deadlines. And I was like, I need someone to help me do all of it.
Yeah. That's cool. Like that's kind of like real estate. Like there's
I
the
really
deadlines,
find it similar.
there's the contracts. It can get messy really fast and really bad. And there's like different conflicts. Like there's all kinds of stuff. So it's interesting to see the similarities.
I've always, my mom used to do real estate back in the day. I have friends who date real estate agents. I've gone to realtor events. That's where I met.
Yeah.
So I'm like, every time I like hear people talk, I'm like, this is like kind of similar.
Well, we like really see, I think, the two industries being like woven together like a lot these days. It's like, instead of just being like a realtor, it's like a lot of agents are turning into like the internet.
You guys aren't influencers, but social media is like a huge part of like marketing for you guys. It's like you might be able to sell something just because it went viral on a reel that you posted at the house, like house tours. And like, I personally love like looking at, I'm nosy. I love looking at people's houses, people's markets.
Same.
Like, I love the real estate people that I follow. I'm like, oh, let me see this house. I definitely cannot afford, but I want to just know what it looks like, and I want to know what it costs.
It sparks people's interest, I think.
Yeah.
Because you can't just see, like, you have to go to the internet to see those things and like videos. Like, you can't just like, oh, what does this house look like from someone that doesn't have it listed.
Right.
Like,
people don't have time to go
to TikTok or Instagram and see those like personalized videos.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of houses, where do you live in Philly?
I live in Fishtown. I live in an apartment. I have 3 bedrooms. We used to be 3 people that lived there. Our one roommate moved out, so now we just use the 3rd bedroom. It's like literally a storage room with the kind you I have so much stuff. But yeah, I love Fishtown.
Yeah. Do you mind if we ask you how much you pay in rent?
No, not rent. Yeah, so I have a really great rate because we got it during the pandemic.
Ooh.
And it's $25.50
For 3 bedrooms.
for 3 bedrooms
on Frankfurt.
Literally in like the heart of Fishtown, which is
Nice.
But yeah, so when there was 3 of us, I actually started off paying $800 a month because there's one master bedroom that has its own bathroom, so that she paid $900 and the other 2 of us we paid $800, and now it's like up to, because we split it, it's like up to $1,200 each. But still, it's
still a really good deal.
It's a great location.
Yeah,
we have a rooftop that's like just our apartment's roof.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm probably going to move next year just because I've been there for like 4 years and I like want to like a change of scenery, a fresh start. But it will always probably go down as one of my favorite apartments that I've ever lived in.
Where do you want to move?
I don't know. I'm like thinking there's like different options. All my friends live in this neighborhood, so that makes me want to stay here.
Yeah.
But like, I also like would love to kind of try out Center City, but like not Center City.
Yeah.
Like, there's like different buildings that I've like kind of been wanting to check out. But we'll see. Maybe Northern Liberties instead of Fishtown, so like I stay in this area. But
yeah,
the problem with the part of Fishtown I live in is like there's no grocery stores that you can.
No.
Like I have to walk to Northern Liberties to get groceries every day.
Yeah.
I'm literally just like, I might as well just live here at this point because I'm just like, I walk to Northern. People are always like, you live in Northern Liberties. I see you on 2nd Street every day. I'm like, yeah, because I walk there every day to get something. No, I don't actually live on that side of town.
Because it's like, I feel like they're so blended together at this point. Because Northern Liberties has all the amenities. Like, Fishtown's kind of lacking, kind of.
I love, like, the family feel to and the neighborhood feel of Fishtown. It's, like, a lot of, like, dogs everywhere, young families, local businesses. It's always been my thing. That, like, I love the coffee in Fishtown is amazing.
Yeah.
All the different coffee shops. I'm obsessed with coffee. So, that part I really, really love. But I think they need to like build a grocery store over there. People are like, oh, there's IGA, but it's like, no, you have to drive there. And they're like, if you're gonna go to Acme or Heirloom Market, you have to walk over here. They need just like one, even if it's like a mini grocery store, like another Heirloom.
Yeah.
Smaller over there. I'm like, you guys keep building these buildings. Put one at the bottom of the building.
I'm surprised they haven't at this point.
I'm not sure it's coming, but I hope it would.
I would hope so.
Because every day I wake up and there's a new apartment building being built.
Yeah, practically overnight. Pretty much, yeah. I think they're just trying to squeeze as many people into the area and like take away like amenity space or like commercial space. They just want, we can have 10 more people move in there instead of a grocery store. Let's do that instead.
I know. I don't really know where all these people are coming from. And I just feel like the rent prices have just been so high. But But someone said to me, they were like, "Oh, I'm not going to start dating until all these buildings are done. Think about all the hot young people who are single are going to move here." And I was like, "That's fair. That's fair."
Where are you originally from?
So I grew up in the Northeast for like very early childhood. And then I moved to the suburbs, Montgomery County, when I was 5 years old. So I like did preschool in the Northeast, but like when it was time to actually like go to public school, we moved to the suburbs. But my siblings like were in the Philadelphia school system for a little bit because they're older. Yeah.
So when did you actually move to Phil?
I moved to Philly in 2020. Like it was weird. So when I went to Philadelphia University, I didn't live on campus housing junior and senior year. I lived in East Falls. Yeah. And we would, I mean, that's in Philadelphia. Like it's the Manayunk, East Falls area, but we were constantly coming to Center City, whatever. So I technically say like I've been living here almost for like past 10 years because I started school in 2014. And then I moved home for grad school just to save money while I was in grad school. But then when that was finished, I moved here November 2020. So 3 years, yeah.
Oh, wow.
As a big city kid. I do like it. It's weird, you know, it's all I've ever known. And like, I feel like sometimes I'm like, I should try to go somewhere else. But like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like my family's here. I have a group of friends here. Part of my career is also here. Like there is a sense of, oh, he's the guy from Philly. And I love being that kind of person. And I have no interest in going to New York ever. I love to visit, don't want to live there.
No.
And I don't, LA is so far. I haven't like, maybe if there was another city that I like went to and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the shit. I love it. But right now I'm content. Yeah.
So if you had to move somewhere else, someone forced you to move, where do you think you would go?
Philly's off the list. Big X. Where would you go?
Probably Miami or Miami, maybe LA. Just because I would want to like switch up the temperature.
Yeah.
I want to be like, all right, if I'm going to
From
really
this
move and
beautiful
relocate,
weather we're having
I want to
right
go
now.
somewhere where it's sunny and nice all the
Yeah.
time. Miami would be a nice middleman because it's like still a short flight and a cheaper flight than going to LA. LA's long ass flight.
Yeah.
I've gone to LA 4 times this year and I'm like,
Ooh.
like this is so much.
That last hour really tests you.
So I'm probably one of those, and there's a good influencer scene and like content creation scene in both of those cities. So if I had to, one of those 2 cities.
Right.
That's actually a good thing you bring up. How both of those cities have like a good like content creation, I guess, pool of people.
Yeah.
Do you think that's like beneficial, or like could that kind of work against you, especially like if you're from Philly where it's not as big,
Right.
where it's like not easier to be like seen as like an influencer, but like I feel like you can get so diluted in like LA, Miami, when
100%.
everybody's doing that.
What I love about Philly is I've always been a big fish, little pond type of person. And that's how I feel in Philadelphia. I'm like, there's not a ton of people that do this. It's easy to like kind of make your way into it. And like, if you want to find success, I feel like a lot of when you start like posting, restaurants will be like, oh, you have this amount of followers, come on in, or there's greater chances to get opportunities. Like,
Yeah.
but also on the negative side, it's like there's also not a lot of people I can relate to sometimes here. Like people don't understand it. It's hard when I like need to film an ad or a campaign where I could really use someone helping me film it, and my friends are like, sorry Brandon, we're at work. Like,
Yeah.
whereas when I go to New York and I see all my friends, it's like they'll take days off, like they'll take days to just film for each other. They'll be like, oh, I have to film an ad for her and she's gonna film an ad for me after, and we're gonna like do a video together, and like me, and I'm like, I don't really have anybody to do that with. And like when you get stressed out about things that are going on, and like whether it's maybe people are commenting mean things or all this stuff, it's like your friends can always understand you, but it's nice to actually talk to another person who does this
Yeah.
and like build that like relatable like conversation with. So there's definitely pros and cons, but I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons.
Mega.
Yeah.
How many partnerships a month do you get with that?
There's no like set number. I mean, typically I'm working on like, I would say 4 to 6 each month. And they're always a little bit different. Some are just on TikTok, some are just on Instagram, some are both where they want it to be posted to TikTok and Instagram. And then there's some that are just like Instagram stories only, or like, you know, something different. I'm hoping eventually, like as the podcast grows that I started, that we'll get some podcast partnerships too. But yeah, I would say 4 to 6 each month. But it's always weird. Like some of those might not be posted until next month.
Okay.
So you might be filming 4 in 1 month, but posting 10 the next month. Because they take a while to get approved, and then they might ask you to make some edits to it. So like last week, this is a really busy time, the holiday season, because a lot of brands save all of their influencer marketing money for holidays to use then. And like I posted 3 ads just on Instagram last week, and I felt so annoying about it. I was like, oh my gosh, like people are gonna be like unfollow sponsorship. But what I try to do with ads is, I mean, I'm pretty authentic. Like I will always work with brands that I like really believe in and a product that I like. And people are always like, do you say no ever? And I'm like, I do say no. Like I've gotten offered so much money through like vaping companies. At the beginning, my content was like a lot about like partying and drinking. I'm gonna get so much money offered from vaping, and I don't vape, and I don't have a problem with people who vape, but it's just not me personally. I'm like, I'm not gonna make an ad about your puff stick. Like it's just not. It's not my brand.
It makes sense.
Even last night, I got such a sick opportunity to do like a video for Vanderpump Rules. I was like, listen, I don't watch the show, and that doesn't feel authentic to me to like make a video about watching the next season when I've never even really watched an episode. I mean,
you'd have to like Google like what is Vanderpump Rules.
I was like, sure, to like do that and like quickly binge watch a few episodes and make my bag, absolutely. But I would rather just like do that the right way and like promote brands that like I really believe in, and it makes the content easier when you like actually use the product and like have a lot to say about it.
I think people can sense that too. When they see like an ad or something, they can see if you're like actually genuine.
I agree 100%. You can tell when someone's like doing something and I'm pro getting your bag always. I'm like, get your fucking bag. But sometimes if you're going to end up not getting your bag in the long term because your engagement starts to fall off. So you have to think like a business and like a brand. Like you are a brand. So you have to think about what makes sense for you.
Yeah.
Do you get paid by TikTok directly? And if so, is it worth it?
I do, but like pocket change. Not pocket change. That's not true. I mean, I can make like $400 to $500 a month from the TikTok Creator Fund. But compared to what you get paid from brands, that's like nothing. And you can't live off of that money. Like in a year, you probably make like about $6,000 a year off TikTok, which that's nice. It's a nice $6,000 that you can put towards rent, utilities, some fun money, but you can't have a $6,000 a year salary. It's not going to work. So I wish the app paid more. There's different ways you can make money through it, like commission links. Now they do TikTok Shop.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
I've never really been one for the whole commission link thing, but I did just post like about a camera that I use, and that was through my Amazon storefront, and I was like, oh wow, this is crazy how much money you can make if people actually buy what you're like quote unquote advertising. So you can try to make money on your own. So if I bought this jacket, let's say with my own money, but I really like it, so I'm like, I'm gonna post the link to it. If other people are like, oh, that jacket's cute, that brand's wearing, I'm gonna buy it too, and they buy it through my link, I might make $6 because this jacket's like, let's say $70. You get like a various amount of commission, like maybe it's 8%, and they'll be like, all right, I'm gonna buy it. So that's, for me, I could sit and post all day just links, but that's not my brand, you know, like I'm like the funny guy, I'm the relatable guy. Like I never want to be like too in your face. Like consumerism is not like a pillar of my brand. It's like, if I find a product that I really, really love and I think my followers will love, that's what I did with my camera. I was like, I got an $89 digital camera. I know that so many people want a $700 Canon G7X. I'm like, this takes really good photos. If you don't want to spend that, here's the camera I got. And sure enough, boom, so many people bought it that I basically got the camera for free because I made so much commission through it.
Okay, so Adam, if you can remember, out of any of your social media posts ever, which one was like the most successful?
I had a video on TikTok that reached 22 million views.
Oh, wow.
That was and it was so funny because the TikTok itself was in my drafts for like 2 months. I had recorded it and I was like, I don't think I'm going to post that. And it was just me and my friends, we used this term immunity necklace, where like we're about to say like kind of something like controversial or like maybe like mean or something. and we'll like send in the group chat, I need a new necklace, but this person's hair looks like absolute shit. And I like made a TikTok about that. I was like, if you need like a safe word in like your group chat or your gossip threads, this is what we use. And that just like blew up. And now on my podcast, we do like a weekly immunity quiz where like we each say something like kind of controversial. It's kind of like a hot take, like a bold opinion. But yeah, that really, I never was expecting that to reach the numbers that it did.
You guys should make like actual immunity necklaces.
I know. Well, I'm a huge fan of Survivor, so that's where it came from. But yeah, it was really funny.
Is there any like thing that you do now that like has been doing well like recently?
So I kept like it's so weird where like I get inspiration from, but like I do these pyramids that were inspired by Abby Lee Miller from Dance Moms, because she used to rank the girls on a pyramid. And I'll like rank like best times of day to be drunk, best days of the week to be drunk. And I think people really like them because like when you're watching it, like you can kind of predict what I'm gonna say, and people will comment and be like, no, like you placed that too low, this is at the top, or they'll comment what they think I forgot, or like, how about this? So they're engaging. And then recently I kind of switched it up and I do now like axis charts where I'll be like, okay, like how drunk I want to get tonight depends on like who's going out and where we're going. And it's like, if all my favorite people are going out and we're all going to the bar that I love, I'm definitely blacking out. Or if no one's going out and there's shitty plans, I'm staying in. Like things like that, that like, and it's weird. I did it to be funny and entertaining, but I actually like have gotten some really nice messages from people who have learning disabilities, and they're like, these visual charts like really help me. Like people who maybe are autistic, I got a really nice message from this girl, and she was like, I think differently when in terms of social things, and these like actually really help me. And I'm like, oh, wow. That's like really cool. Yeah. Like I'm just being a stupid person on the internet, but like I'm actually like in a way entertaining and helping people too. So that was like a cool moment for me.
And that's just like, so you just keep doing like the charts depending on...
Yeah, I mean, it always is like, I need to think of like a good topic. So sometimes there can be like a creative block because it's like, the more you do, the more you have to think of like, what haven't I done yet? Or like, what can I like, you have to get creative. It's definitely like a creative job. And your brain always has to be thinking like, in terms of like, what can I post today that's like gonna hit well with the audience.
Yeah.
I could probably make a good chart for like real estate agents.
Yeah.
I like run a team, and I'm constantly like meeting people to hire to be on our team, and either between like what they have already encountered by meeting other agents, or think about real estate agents.
Right.
There's like a couple different groups of people
Let's
when
do
they come
it.
to me.
Let's do it.
Do you have a marker?
Good thing we came prepared here today.
Let's do it.
I've seen the chart, but I don't
You
know
got here.
exactly.
I'll be the scribe.
I definitely
Okay,
could come up with groups of.
Okay.
So the pyramid starts with just one giant triangle.
Probably should just be realtors in general, the types of realtors
Okay.
that I encounter.
Okay.
And I'm sure you encounter the same people.
What I do is we do 6.
Okay.
Are we going to do positives or negatives?
I mean, there's
All right,
both.
so here's our blank pyramid. So on the bottom, what's the worst kind of realtor?
Ooh.
The
Let me
worst.
think.
Like if this, you can give them like a nickname. Like it could be like the overseller, or like someone who maybe doesn't explain everything. Like,
How about the realtor that invites you out to coffee every single day of the week but doesn't do anything?
Got it. So let's think of a fun quick like some
a catchphrase for like how can we like word that?
What maybe like a catfish realtor. Like they pretend that they're actually real,
Okay.
but they're really not. Would
Okay.
that work?
Yeah, that
You don't
works.
seem sold.
No, I'm sold on that, but there's several like categories of that alone.
Yeah.
Like I've just thought of 2 other things.
Maybe the one that doesn't actually work.
Okay.
Let's put that. Doesn't
The one
actually.
that gets coffee every day but doesn't actually work.
Okay, I have another good one.
Okay.
I have one too.
This is not my best handwriting work. I normally use the text feature, but this says doesn't actually work.
Okay.
Actually work.
Okay.
Sounds
All right.
good.
What's not as bad as that, but still pretty bad?
Maybe the realtor that shows millions of luxury houses, but has only sold one house since they've been a realtor.
Maybe in quotes, the luxury realtor.
Yeah, the luxury realtor. Yeah.
I like that. I feel like I follow a few of those. All right, so doesn't actually work, luxury realtor. What's like our spot number 4? Kind of in the middle, but still pretty bad.
The realtor that never answers their phone.
Yeah.
Got it. Ghost realtor.
Ghost.
That's
yeah,
a good one.
that's a great one. Ghost realtor.
All right, bring us up to our midpoint. They're decent. They're not perfect, but they're okay. If they're on your team, there's some pros, there's some cons.
So I guess this is going to be a little mean, but like, honest, they're like stupid, but they're really nice people and
Got it.
work.
How could we say that? Personality hire.
There you go.
Personality hire.
Personality realtor. Let's say that.
Josh, you definitely have one. A different group. We got to think.
This is tough.
Well, now we need spot number 2, which means you're pretty good.
Okay.
Personality, I think I agree with position 3 because a lot of it, it's like if you're a nice, charming guy, that could
Yeah.
I might buy a house from you.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's what sells it.
Might be
Yeah.
bumpy, but
Might be bumpy.
So my problem is I think I have way more in the negative part of the
what
pyramid. Like I
I'm
could
trying to
I could
think,
make this
yeah.
we
bigger.
could make it bigger. Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
realtor who's been doing this for 40 years and thinks everything's the same that it was 40 years ago.
yeah.
But if we're going
Old school.
positive,
Let's go positive.
I'm just trying to get what the ultimate positive would be
Yeah.
before I hit the
Well,
other slot.
I know the number 1. You guys.
Oh, thanks. I guess the one next to that would be like the realtor that just works so hard they'll do
Yeah.
whatever it
The
takes.
one that the one that answers at 2
Yeah.
a.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always on, maybe.
Yeah, the
Always
always on one is good. Which is kind of like us.
Yeah. You send a text at 2 a.m. I'll
Yeah.
answer.
All right. Think of like the best realtor that you know. What are their qualities? From a customer standpoint.
For a customer standard,
I
they will
feel-
do anything like
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
client, like
Yeah.
whether it's they'll work with the client and like
Or especially ones like if they're on the other side of the transactions, like say like representing the seller and you're doing the buyer, that see the deal as like teamwork instead of
Yeah.
like competition. 'Cause
Right.
You need to have a
Got
balance.
it.
Like yes, you need to represent your client and like in their best interest. But
So, how about team player? You're a team
Yeah.
player for the people you're working with, for your client. I love it.
yeah,
Hear that, people? If you're going into real estate,
Be a
you
team
got to be a team player. Think for the customer, for the team, and you'll be
good.
successful all the time.
that's a great
All
chart.
right, so we need some HM, honorable mentions.
Okay.
So you said the old school realtor. What do we
Right.
call that?
Yeah. That never doesn't know how to use the
one that-
internet.
Yeah, the one that uses paper documents for everything instead of DocuSign. Very inconvenient. That's all
What
I'm
else?
saying.
What are the other negatives we've got?
Maybe the brokerages that don't pay you fairly for rental
Okay.
properties.
Okay. Yeah, there's some tea with that.
Cheap?
Really cheap.
Cheap. I would say the realtors that say the keys are in the lockbox,
That's a good one.
but there are no keys in the lockbox. And they make
Unprepared.
You, yeah, and they make you.
That might be
send
at the
a
bottom of
picture
mine.
Of
Yep.
the lockbox.
Yeah,
with
that's a good
no
one.
keys in it, and they think you're lying.
I think that's good.
Unprepared.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true, it's happened. It's happened
Awesome.
plenty of times.
All right, what else do you guys want to rank? Let's do something Philly related.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll have you guys rank. Ready?
Okay.
Where's the best bar to watch an Eagles game? How about that? No?
It depends on what type of like. Or do you want to watch the game in peace, or do you want like craziness?
Well, that's what you have to rank on the pyramid, you know? Like maybe bars that are a little mix of both go to the top. Bars that are too crazy go at the bottom.
So I like watching the game at home, but if I do go to a bar, I think I like the crazy bar where there's millions of people.
I like that answer.
So
Like what?
like Xfinity Live or Barstool or something like that.
Yeah.
But they're different.
You guys think Xfinity Live is like the mid? I think Xfinity Live is my bottom. I think it's too much. It's
It is
too
a little-
overstimulating.
Yeah.
Let's put it in spot number 4. How about
Okay.
that?
Okay.
We're doing best bars to watch an Eagles game in Philadelphia. Best locations to watch an Eagles game.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Xfinity gets spot number 4 because you got to do it once in your life. You have
Right.
to experience it. It's a rites of passage.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it every weekend, you're probably 21 because that's what I was when I did it every weekend. Now I go in there and I want to leave immediately.
Yeah.
You said Barstool. I would put Barstool as number 2.
Okay.
I love watching a sports game at Barstool.
Is it worth
You don't think
What?
you're 21 there also?
Yeah. Is it worth going?
No, I think Barstool's like more my age group, like
Okay.
25 to 30.
Okay.
And it's nice because it's like a little mix. It's like when the game's on, people are actually watching it, but when there's commercial breaks, they have a DJ. I think Barstool Sansom Street is a good spot, number 2. I would agree with number 1 being your house
I was gonna
or
say that.
your friend's house
Your friend's house.
because then they cook and clean up.
Yeah, that's true.
How's that? We
has to
agree.
have a nice couch.
Like this one.
Yeah, like this one. Snacks, big screen.
Friend's house. You know another place I like to watch? Urban Saloon. Have you guys ever been there?
Fairmount?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're
I've been. Yeah.
they're fun for an Eagles game. A little
good.
chaotic, but
Yeah.
fun. I would put them in spot like number
I
3.
agree. I like that spot. Yeah. What about that other place we went to when it opened? Bankroll.
That went out of business?
Yeah, that's
Bankroll.
done.
Yeah, wait, they're
She's
done
cut.
already?
Yeah.
it was quick.
They're cuts.
And we knew it was going to be done, but I didn't think it was going to be done that quick.
I have a hot take. You know where I hate watching football games here? I hate watching them at Garage in Fishtown.
I never watched a game there.
They have a big projector, and I don't know. It's just like not. It's not my vibe. I think it's just. It's not dancey. It's just kind of just the crowd.
Yeah. Is he younger?
I think it's a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's my hot take. I'm gonna put that as number 5. Do you guys, or number 6 actually? Do you guys have any other ones that you're like?
Like that's not like a great spot.
I'm thinking.
tough.
Like
You guys not football guys?
I'm a football guy.
usually don't
But
watch.
again, I usually watch it at home.
I just figured I was like, oh.
Well, I was in Vegas, or not Vegas. I was in Nashville this weekend though, and there was an entire bar that opened up for Philly people.
Really?
It was like pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, like right in the main.
So
heart.
specific.
Yeah, it was, and there was a
why?
Titans game on at the same time, but this whole bar,
It was just
like, was Philadelphia. And they put a sign outside. It was pretty cool.
We're global. We're worldwide now in the city. I
Yeah.
guess.
I'm trying to think where else people. Wicked Wolf, people watch there. People watch at McGillen's.
You could say yeah.
I think McGillen's is an acquired taste.
What about Victory?
Oh, I like Victory.
Been there.
That's a fun vibe.
Yeah.
How about Top Dog? You ever been there? I went there for
No.
a Phillies game. It's like smaller, but it was kind of good to watch a game, but not that crowded.
You know what people have been doing that I think is unhinged, and I think it could be a good spot, number 5? Watching it at Live Casino. And you know why we're putting it at number 5? Because you're gonna lose some money while you're
You're
there.
gonna lose some money. How could you not just
Live Casino gets spot number 5 because you're gonna hate yourself the next day.
proceed with caution?
Yep.
We'll say that.
All right, guys, there you have it.
Perfect.
Our ranking.
So to end off, we're going to do another axis chart. Neighborhoods to live in Philly. On this x-axis, or the horizontal arrow for those who failed math, this is luxury apartments on this end, more affordable on this end. And on our y-axis, it's parking. So if you have a car and you need a parking spot that's reliable, or if you don't even have a car on this end. So my realtor kings.
Okay.
If I'm moving to Philly and I want to live in a luxury building with a parking spot, what neighborhood do you think I should look for?
I mean, Piazza, kind of.
Northern Liberties?
It has the parking,
Yeah.
but
The problem, yeah. I
but if
mean,
you want to be
there's there's not parking. Like there's some parking in Rittenhouse Square, but it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. The
Yeah.
parking's the problem.
that's the thing,
Right.
yeah, because it's really
I
not
typically agree
anywhere.
that Northern Liberties is a better neighborhood to. I would tell people if you have a car, Northern Liberties in Fishtown
Yeah.
is better than living kind
In
of.
Center City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm down to say, no libs. You don't seem sold.
Only because there's not a ton of
Yeah.
luxury,
See, I
but
was
there's
thinking more
but
of,
the
like,
parking is
building.
definitely
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
if we're doing
Sure.
neighborhood,
Yeah.
that's a tough one.
because the parking's bad everywhere in
That's the
Philly.
thing, yeah.
So like,
Maybe
but-
the suburbs.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's funny.
Bucks
If
County.
you're
like,
looking to move to this
luxury
area,
and parking, you do like the main line.
yep.
yeah, main line.
That's funny.
There we
Keep
go.
it real. Keep it real.
The park.
All right, but if you want parking in a more affordable area, go to Northern Liberties.
Yeah, I agree with
And Fishtown, right?
Yeah.
I would say.
that. Yeah.
Kensington.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
Because you can get spots on the street
Yeah.
easily. Yeah.
Northern Libs, Old Kensington.
You can park anywhere, and there's no
Yeah.
permits usually.
What about like Old City?
Parking's kind of tough there.
Tough there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like meters everywhere.
All right. We can add to this list. We have Northern Liberties, Old Kensington, Fishtown. What about somewhere you don't necessarily have a car or you don't need a ton of parking, but it's affordable?
I would say, I mean, depending on what you're looking for, like South Philly.
I was gonna say like,
South Philly.
Yeah.
I
Parts of
agree.
South Philly, because like, if you don't need a car, I mean, you can
Yeah.
still get on the train.
Yeah, they have a lot of
buses.
good public trans over
Yeah,
there.
you can get a lot for your money there.
Yeah.
I think.
What about you don't have a car, but you want to live somewhere luxury? To me, that's clear Center City.
Yeah, Rittenhouse Square.
Yep.
or, like,
Rittenhouse. Wow, my handwriting is bad. Fittler Square.
Queen Village. Yeah.
Luxury, no car. Yeah, I would say.
We'll just say Center City. Amazing. All right, so now let's think of some neighborhoods we missed. Where would we put Old City on this map?
I would put it middle luxury, no car.
Got it.
Yeah. If we're doing along the lines,
Yeah.
that's like where I would put Old City.
Okay, we'll add Old City here too. What about like Society Hill?
Similar because it's.
Is it more affordable than Old City though?
I feel like.
Or
nah,
Queen Village?
They're all like expensive.
Yeah, they're like really expensive, and they all kind of blend together. It's kind of hard to define like where it's, each area stops.
Basically, if you move to Philly, expect to pay a lot and not have a lot of parking.
That's pretty much the. Yeah.
That's the map.
Really
When
what
you
it
added
comes down to.
parking, I'm like, this is gonna be hard.
Yeah. You're like, we want 2 spots. We want to
Yeah.
pay $2,000 total. We want a penthouse, and like,
Plus rentals now, like in Northern Liberties, are crazy. Like everywhere is crazy.
Yeah.
Go to Fishtown. I think that is this
We
is
just
where
solved
and
the
that's
problem.
where we
Yeah.
these are where you want to live.
yeah, these are
You're gonna have some parking options, street parking. You might
Yeah.
have to pay for something, but
I think though driving around too in those areas
Yeah.
are better than when you go
I
to Center
agree.
City. You don't know when you're getting home. Like,
yep.
like I just went to go pick up clothing on Walnut Street. It took so long just to pull my car over. You
Yeah.
couldn't even get.
It's not worth
So
it.
like that's hard. Yeah,
All right, guys. That's all I wrote.
it's perfect.
perfect. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everybody knows where to find you, but like if you want to tell people where to find you.
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok, Bran 2_, Flakes with 2 Z's. Same thing on Instagram, just with 1. And listen to my podcast called Between Us Girlies. It's me and my 3 best friends, and that's on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. This was great.
This was awesome.
See ya.